Springtime. At the recording of this video, it was actually 71 degrees was the high outside, you know, and actually wasn't bad with long sleeves on. But it's that time of year. I just covered my designers that I'll be reaching for the most this year, and I figured today we'd cover the 10 niche fragrances that I plan on reaching for the most this spring. Stay tuned. So we might as well start things off with the beautiful niche fragrance that I wore today. You know, some will call it just another version of Creed Aventus, which essentially it kind of is, but to be honest with you, I kind of like it more than Aventus. Bondnumber9.com. Today was my first full wearing of it, and some of the fragrances on this list I've been holding off on wearing for spring because I've gotten them recently and they just seem to suit spring better in my opinion, or it's ones I haven't reached for in a while. And this is one I was holding off till spring to wear, and oh man, this stuff's so good. Performs too. Man, does this stuff perform. Sillage and projection are above average on this one, and so far, let's see, what time is it? I'm 5.5 hours into wearing it, and it's still going nice and strong. Oh yeah, still going nice and strong off of my skin. One that got some hype a while back. It's not a new fragrance or anything. I know there was a stint a few years ago where it was getting talked about a lot on YouTube, and it's new to me, and I'm absolutely loving this. I definitely see myself reaching for this one over Aventus, over anything else that smells like Aventus this spring, really and truly. I'm really digging this. You take the smokiness away, you just make it super fruity. Bondnumber9.com. Definitely going to be reaching for this one a lot this spring. And hell, it was my scent of the day. Next is the newest release from KAJAL. It's the follow-up to the ever so popular KAJAL Homme. KAJAL Homme 2, that beautiful electroplated bottle. Beautiful, beautiful. And look, the scent, just as beautiful. It's actually a little bit more woody and herbaceous than the original, where the original was much more white floral, powdery tonka bean. It was a lot of orange blossom and tonka bean with a little bit of oud. This one's got some more herbaceous qualities. Definitely has some more citrus going for it as well. But there's a warmer aspect to this one. Very, very woody. Beautiful, beautiful fragrance. Dare I say better than the original, but the jury's still out on it. I still have more testing to do on it, and that's the main reason it's so early on in this video. Is it's one I still have yet to spend a whole lot of time with, but I do plan on spending a lot more time this spring with. I want to spray it one more time. It smells incredible. Definitely the right fragrance to follow up probably their most popular from the house with KAJAL Homme. This stuff is really good. Get yourself a sampler or a decant. If you're ready to get a bottle, there's always a link in the description for KAJAL to save you 10%. And definitely the one from the house I'll be reaching for this spring. Be on the lookout. Full review coming soon as well. KAJAL Homme 2. Now this is another one I've been holding off to spray it for spring because this is just screams springtime. It's creamy, it's woody, it's a little fresh. It's still got some density for the cooler days in the spring. Wood and Spices from Montal. This is one that I picked up from Kingdom Fragrances a while back that I have not been wearing, because it's another one of those fragrances I've just been waiting, because spring was right around the corner when I got this, when we were getting towards the middle to tail end of winter. Man, it smells good. Don't get me wrong, they have a cheaper alternative that smells exactly like it, Sculpture Pour Homme from Nikos. It smells exactly like it. Not on the same level of quality and performance, but you can get pretty much the same scent, just a more synthetic version of it for around 20 bucks. But this is definitely better if you want to spend a little bit more money. From discounters, it's around $50 to $70 depending on where you find it. I don't know if Kingdom Fragrances has a stock on it right now or not. I did not check before I started shooting this video. It's floating all around me. This is definitely better to get than Sculpture, but if you're on a budget, you can go with Sculpture. But man, just creamy and woody. The name's a little tricky for me though, because I don't get much spice from it. I get a lot of creaminess and woods is mainly what I smell from it. And it's a beast performer. It is, as are most Montal fragrances. I have several that I could be wearing this spring, and there's a few that I will, don't get me wrong. But the main one I plan on spending the most time with from the house this spring in 2021 is definitely going to be the famed Wood and Spices. Longtime fans of the channel know I'm not a real big fan of vetiver dominated fragrances unless it's a clean, fresh, or soapy type of vetiver, which this next one absolutely is, and it screams spring. It's a green fragrance through and through. It's number 601 from Bon Parfumer. I have done a few test sprays on this one. I just haven't given it a full wearing yet, but bergamot, cedar, and vetiver. Three most prominent notes. Almost has a little bit of a dill smell up top, dill pickle type of smell. So if that turns you off, that turns you off. But that's the quality of the vetiver, really. It's that strong, citrusy, soapy type of vetiver. It's super, super fresh. Very green. There's some more herbaceous qualities to it. There's a little bit of cypress in here as well, if I remember correctly. Very, very green fragrance. They definitely did well going with the green label on this one because it's, like I said, it's a very, very green fragrance that's going to be right up the alley of springtime. Because when I think springtime, I think herbaceously fresh fragrances. Slightly spicy, more fresh spicy than warm. Nothing real peppery or cinnamon. We're talking more spices from herbs like rosemaries and cypress and stuff like that that give off that green spiciness, which this has a little bit of, but it's more fresh than fresh spicy. Not overly woody, not overly soapy. Blended just right in my opinion. Be on the lookout. I'll probably do a full review of this one this spring as well. And that's number 601, Bon Parfumer. And I just got to be honest with you, this is the most powerful fragrance in this video. This is, if I had to pick one to call a beast mode fragrance in this list, it's definitely AOUD Lemon Mint from Mancera. Powerful, 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 powerful. Not everybody's cup of tea, as are all fragrances. Not everybody likes everything, but I got to tell you, man, this stuff is so good to me. It's super creamy. The oud's right there in the background in a supportive role. It's got a little tiny slight medicinal quality, a little bit of pencil shavings going on, not much. It's mainly a very creamy lemon up top, and then it starts to get much more woody as it dries. I don't get any mint qualities from it. The name's kind of confusing for me. So I don't get a minty lemon whatsoever, and it's called Lemon Mint. But for me, my skin chemistry with this fragrance in this specific bottle, beast. Loud. Don't need a ton of sprays. 5 sprays is more than enough to grab plenty of attention with this particular fragrance. Now, others may want to go a little bit heavier. It's all good, to each their own. You know, just like some people are going to love this, some people are going to hate this. Spray what you want. Some people will do 2 sprays on this. Nah, I don't go that easy on it. But 5 to 7, and 7 being I'm going to be outdoors most of the day that I'm going to be wearing this. Confined space, 4 to 5 sprays. That's just me. And I got to tell you, it's loud. It smells so, so good to me. I have gotten several compliments the few times I've worn. I say few times. The several times I've worn this. I've worn this a good bit over the last 2 years. The year and a half or so that I've had it. And it's predominantly in the spring that I like to wear it. It's a little too much for the summer, even though the bottle color scheme and the name may make you think summer. Not a summer fragrance in my opinion. Milder spring days, milder fall days, and of course winter it works well because it can pierce through the cold, but definitely a great fragrance for the spring. My preferred season to pull this one out. I've actually been looking forward to spring. It's one of my favorite times of year to wear fragrances. And I'll definitely be reaching for AOUD Lemon Mint from Mancera. It will be the primary Mancera I reach for this spring. It's the freshest, it's the creamiest, it's the most well-suited for a nice spring day. Zaharoff Signature Royale. Beautiful, beautiful fragrance. Takes that signature pour homme DNA, freshens it up, adds some citruses, adds a little magnolia to add a nice floral aspect to the heart, and it really amps up the creaminess on the sandalwood. This is a very sandalwood dominated fragrance. Very creamy, very beautiful. Blonde woods type of smell. You can smell there's a lot of blonde woods, which is your sandalwoods and stuff like that. Very, very creamy, fresh up top. And like I said, the magnolia can give off somewhat of a powdery floral aspect, but not too much. It's just the right amount. It's a nice little touch. There's a little bit of herbs in this one, but not much. It's mainly that citrus blend, that cashmere wood accord that they have in here with the sandalwood. There's a little touch of oud and myrrh for that, you know, nice little fingerprint of Zaharoff Signature Pour Homme's DNA. And it performs. It's not too loud, but it's definitely very long lasting. 8 to 10 hour fragrance easily. I get more in that 8 to 9 range, but I've seen a lot of people say they get 10, 11 hours. So it all depends on your skin. This is a light enough fragrance where I spray my clothes with this one as well, as I would recommend to you for this one. And if you're ready to get your hands on a bottle, it's always a link down below. You get a free gift with your purchase as well. And for the warmer weather, it's definitely the best Zaharoff to get your hands on. And that's Signature Royale. Dressier occasions, certain little events and things like that, you know, lunch dates, things that me and the wife like to do. This is going to be the fragrance that I'm probably going to reach for at least early on in spring, because I've been itching to pull this one back out since I got it. I'm talking about Zorak from Spirit of Kings. Essentially, this is a niche clone fragrance. What is it a clone of? Tom Ford's Oud Wood, with slightly better performance. I get about 7 to 8 hours. It's not some beast, don't get me wrong. Projection's definitely there. Real good sillage and trail with this one, and it projects pretty well in the first 2 hours, and the sillage behind it for the following 2 hours to the 4 hour mark is pretty good. But accurate. Super accurate. 1-to-1 accurate in my opinion. It's got that, you know, the complaint about oud wood that some people can't stand, that kind of cleaner type of smell that the oud gives off. I actually like it quite a bit. I'm one of those people that really likes the way oud wood smells, and this is just a niche version of it. Super happy to have it. And like I said, those dressier occasions, because it does lean a little bit more classy. Obviously, you can wear this one with a t-shirt, but I think polo and above for this one. You know, lunch date type of stuff, polo, Oxford kind of thing. On up to suit and tie. Easily pull this one off suit and tie. Very beautiful fragrance. And like I said, performs slightly better than the regular oud wood from Tom Ford does. And I think the price is actually a little bit better, to be honest with you. It's a damn good fragrance. It's the only clone on this list. I mean, technically, I guess bondnumber9.com's kind of a clone of Creed Aventus, depending on how you want to look at it. But pretty excited to have this one and pull it out this spring. This is going to be the event fragrance, at least early on. Zorak from Spirit of Kings. This is definitely the most aromatic fragrance in this video, and it actually doesn't even really have any lavender, if I remember correctly, but does have a lovely champagne note. I don't know how many of you know where I'm going with this, because champagne's not widely used in perfumery, but I'm talking about Remarkable People from État Libre d'Orange. Did a full review of this one not that long ago, and I'm a fan. Man, versatility, versatility. This thing's going to work in any situation this spring. Don't get me wrong, it's not just strictly for spring that I'm talking about this is good for. I think it's ideal for spring, though. T-shirt to suit and tie. Dinner date, work, day off, running errands, don't matter. This is going to shine. Very unisex as well. Doesn't have a strong masculinity, but I can definitely see more guys wearing this than girls. Obviously, beautiful, beautiful fragrance. It really is. I was surprised the first time I wore this one. It actually not really blew me away, but kind of took me back a little bit, because it wasn't what I was expecting, and it was a very pleasant surprise. I'm going to spray this one more time. This is such a good fragrance. And you can tend to get your hands on them for a decent price. They're not super expensive niche. This is one of the more affordable niche brands that bring just these beautiful, unique fragrances that can really depict a situation or a certain type of olfactory memory. With this one, it's just an easy wear that's just a delight. It's an enjoyable fragrance to wear. I'll have a link down below to Twisted Lily if you want to get your hands on a bottle, and there's a code to save yourself 10%. But man, must try in my opinion. This is an absolute must try. Super easy wear that's enjoyable. Remarkable People, État Libre d'Orange. Now, because of the versatility, now don't get me wrong, I don't have a lot of Creed fragrances. I have 2 and some, you know, some decants of others, but I mean, I like this one more than Aventus. I just do, because of the versatility of it and the likelihood that I'm not going to smell like somebody else around me, because Creed Aventus is so popular. Talking about Creed Viking. Been spending a little bit more time with it lately, and yeah, don't get me wrong, it's got an old school vibe because it's got a lot of similarities to Old Spice, just essentially a niche version of it. But I love that about it. I do. This is a classy fragrance. It is a classy fragrance that's not too serious. One that you can still throw on a t-shirt with, but absolutely works great for the office. If you're in an office setting, This is a wonderful fragrance for that. If you're a business professional that wears a suit to work every day, great fragrance for that, really. And surprising longevity. 8-ish hours, not a strong projector. Definitely the reason it's so work appropriate is because it does sit a bit closer to the skin. It doesn't really push out real far. There's a little mild trail that's going to follow. It's got a light sillage, but it's just one of those crisp, clean, slightly spicy, minty, fresh, aromatic type of fragrances that's a do-it-all. This is a do-it-all, an expensive do-it-all. Don't get me wrong, but the quality is definitely there. I really, really, really enjoy Viking, and it's definitely going to be the Creed I'm reaching for the most this spring. Creed Viking. Last but not least, the reason I saved this one for the end is this is the one that has the most intrigue around it. I have been saving it for the spring. I've been wearing the other fragrance I got from the house more. I'm talking about Orient Express from Les Fleurs de Golf over in Paris. I've been wearing Baccarat Vanille. Wore that last week, as a matter of fact. I have not worn this one yet. I've done a few test sprays. I mean, it's been on my skin, but I haven't given it a full wearing yet. And man, I gotta tell you, fresh, fruity, floral, woody, unique. Very unique. I don't have anything that smells like this. The juice color's fitting. It's green, but it's got a fresh citrus and floral aspect that makes it veer away from being too green. There's no fresh spice to it or anything like that. It's beautiful. This is a beautiful fragrance. I actually like this one more than Baccarat Vanille. I really like Baccarat Vanille. That's actually their most popular fragrance. But man. If I could recommend one to you, because I've only tried two. Of the two I've tried, Baccarat Vanille is good. Orient Express is really, really good. I'm probably going to be wearing this one over the next few days now that we've got some warm weather going. Very excited about this one. I just got to be straight. And for those of you that saw my first impressions video that I did on it, they did email me the other day out of the blue to let me know that they switched to FedEx and their shipping is much faster now. So a little food for thought if you're thinking about ordering from Les Fleurs de Golf, because it is going to come from Paris. They are based out of Paris, France. But damn good fragrance that I'm very, very, very excited. The one I'm most excited to wear this spring in this video. Orient Express. Les Fleurs de Golf. Well, that's the 10. And until next time, do me a real quick favor. Go ahead and like, comment, subscribe, because I do appreciate all the feedback and I love hearing from you guys. How many of these are you going to be reaching for this spring? How many of these have your intrigue, have you yet to try, but you've been itching to try? Hey, like I always say, it's never a better time than right now to check something out that you've been interested in. And until next time, I will say if you get your hands on any of the fragrances in this video and you give them a spray now, pretty confident you'll thank me later. Have a good one, guys.